All right, we're going to do something a little bit different today that I don't do often, but every once in a while I'll see a project that I really like. And the new Wood Carving Illustrated magazine, wonderful magazine. If you are not taking Wood Carving Illustrated magazine and you want to be a wood carver, then you need to, okay? But Jill has a particular project in here. It's called Ichabod crane. Ichabod's flight is what it's called. And it's Jill Motovidlak. I believe that's the way she pronounced the name. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. But what it is, it's a series of pieces that you cut to create this wonderful little Ichabod crane. I'm a fan of the Ichabod crane type stuff and the folklore is it with it, and I think that's what it is. This reminds me so much of folk art that it just is so stylish and things like that. And she goes through the projects, but we're gonna show you how to carve this. She has the material list, and then she has the particular pieces here. Now, I'm going to say this, okay? You're going to have a bandsaw for this project, or some type of saw to cut this out, okay? Because this is cut. These two pieces are cut from 1-inch basswood, or I've got some sugar pine today, and they need to be cut out with a bandsaw. Now, I know a lot of people have a bandsaw, and I know a lot of people complain that, you know, I want everything to go from a block of wood, but people just can't do that all the time. And if you are going to be a serious carver, and serious, I mean you want to have fun with it, enjoy it, you need to invest in a bandsaw. Now, in a good bandsaw, not one of these cheaper ones that don't have much power to them. I would suggest always that you buy a bandsaw with at least a 1 horsepower motor on it. I have a Delta. It's an old, that thing was $600 something back then. They're over $1,000 now, but not used. You can look on marketplaces and stuff, and you can find used bandsaws, 14-inch, 12-inch bandsaws, for around $200 or less. So I'm just saying, if you really, really want to carve and continue to carve, then I would invest in a bandsaw. I would. Most all carvers have a bandsaw. Okay, well, let me show you here. Anyway, this wonderful magazine, if you have not. Let me show you here. I have talked to Jill, and she's given me permission to carve this and show you how to carve it, in other words. And even though she does show the steps, sometimes it's a little hard to follow exactly what needs to be done. And I need to start doing more of this. I need to start carving more of these projects in here. This is done in pieces. So since it is done in pieces, I feel it is a much easier project for someone to find out and do. So anyway, all right. So what we have here is, I'm sorry, let me get to that page, and there's a matter of gluing. See, like this, folks. The pieces are all cut together, so it makes it a lot easier to carve. So let me show you what we have here, okay? Okay. The first piece that I'm going to show you is the horse. And then the second piece, and then the arms and legs come later, but the second piece is the guy riding the horse, in other words, Ichabod. Now, each piece is going to be cut out of 1-inch basswood. Now, let me explain something to you. She showed the centimeters that the basswood is on. And you can actually get 1-inch basswood. I think Heineke carries it. When you order 1-inch basswood. Other places, when you order 1-inch basswood, you get 3/4 inch size. Everybody knows that. A 1x4 is 3/4 by 4 inches. Okay. Well, it's the same way. So what I'm trying to explain is this: that if you can't find it, then get you a piece of 2-inch basswood, put these on there, and then slice it down to 1 inch. In other words, cut it out, slice it down to 1 inch. Because these are 1 inch thick, both of them. And the pattern that's on it is, I'm not sure how long this is. Let me see. I mean, I got it right off the pattern. I'm doing it exactly as she's doing. Now let me explain something to you. If you can't find 1-inch basswood and all you have is 3/4 inch basswood, then all you have to do is reduce the pattern a little bit, where it's not as long, and it can handle 3/4 inch basswood. Okay? Because this thing here is almost 10.5 inches long. So it is a larger project. You can make this a lot smaller and it would be even cuter. Okay, now I've got the project all drawn out. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make sure that each piece, I got a little piece there. All right, on this side, as you see, we have our tail. So we come over here and put our tail right there. Okay? Now, the saddle that you have here the stirrup that goes underneath it, we're going to come and just run that across there like that, okay? All right. Now, this is a little more challenging. You may have to do the measuring. So let's measure a little bit, and then we can get what we want to and draw it on the other side. Now, I don't have to get it exact, but if we want to, from the stirrup on up, I'm sorry, that's my brother-in-law going out. Let me stop this for a minute. Is about 2. Let's see. Let me see. This ruler's getting to where it's. So it's about 1/2 inch up here. So from that point, we'll go about 1/2 inch up. Draw a line just like that. And that's about where our stirrups will come up here to this thing. Okay? All right, you see that? Okay. Let me make sure now. Let me do it one more time. I can even come up just a little bit longer on this. And then we come across like this. Now, if we measure this, let's just measure from this point to this point, excuse me, is around 4 inches. So let's take and measure from this point to this point. I'm sorry. And it's on my keychain, so it's a little bit. So this is 4 inches right here. So the saddle comes up about that high and goes over here. Okay? All right. Comes up like that. Now, the front part, let's measure how far from the, and that is about, 4 3/8. So let's just, it doesn't have to be exact, but we come up here, measure about 4 3/8 is somewhere around in there. So That's about how our saddle's going to look, okay? Okay. It's about how our saddle's going to look right there. In other words, and it doesn't go, it actually comes like this. Okay? Oh, who's making all that? God. Today, people are in a noisy mood today. Okay. Okay, and it's raining. I don't know why they... Okay, the next thing is it's hard to see. This is our little reins right here. So we come over here and just basically draw this like this. Okay? So we have it pretty much the way that we want it. Okay. Now the next thing is come up here where your front hoofs are and just sort of draw that across there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And that across there. Alright, now let's get our knife. All we're doing is just going from the back side here, and we'll work it out as we go it. In other words, okay? In fact, I see that this goes even lower down here and touches it actually comes up like that. Okay. All right, let's first of all, I always like to kind of start with the tail and bring it down on both sides. We come here with the tail and we begin to remove that part there. And you go from side to side. Now this is not a relief carving, this is a 3D carving. And you go from side to side and bring that tail down. It's kind of a... And the tail is going to kind of come to a point from both sides. So we begin to bring that tail down, get it shaped up. Now you don't have to get the final shape of it just right now, because as we bring the other part of it down, we'll get even more done. But we do need to get as much done as possible to make this look fairly well. Which means you'll have to go back and forth with your knife, different ways, different means, and just be very careful. This sugar pine is good wood, but you've got to be careful with sugar pine. It's not like basswood. It is not a, it is a brittle wood. It can break very easily. So you want to be really, and it's got a few knots in it and stuff. So when you hit those knots, you want to stop. You don't want to break off and stuff like that. It is best to use basswood if you can. The project itself calls for basswood. So, okay. Well, that's enough on the tail right now. Okay. We're gonna continue later on it. All right. The next thing we want to do is we want to make our boundaries. Okay. So our boundaries are, for instance, our saddle, and let's also go across this way, just like that, for our saddle. So what we want to do is take, and we want to now, one of the things we want to be careful of is we want to keep this curve here, and for the Ichabod driver, okay? You don't want to be really digging into this area too much. Across here and up like this, and begin to remove that wood just like that. And this here is the this is the rein, and it's going to be cut to the inside. Okay? See, because the rein of the horse fits in, all right? So this will take the rein of the horse as it fits in. Okay? And let's do the same. Bring your knife this way and come inside for the rein. Okay. And also, we come down here and we begin to outline our saddle. Now, as far as the bottom, we can definitely put the cuts in there because that doesn't show anything out of the ordinary. Okay. Showing that situation right there as we bring that down. Okay? So already we're shaping it. Already we're shaping it. Okay? All right. Now next, let's come up here or come back here to the and we're going to come from the inside. This is the hoofs of the and let's cut through there. And those come from the inside. In other words, from the inside, I mean the inside cuts. And the same in the front hoofs. From the inside. That's an inside cut, like when you're doing a hand. And all we do is establishing our boundaries, as I call it, right here. All right. Okay. Now, as you can see, as we do this,